Hello friends, so welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to tell you an update on the 85th day of me living Entrypoint lifestyle. Now I will get, there's a lot of things I want to tell you because a lot of things are happening in my life. In fact, so many things are happening in my life that I have no idea what's going to happen. So I will now tell you an update. First of all, I want to say that Entrypoint lifestyle is me living Entrypoint philosophy. Entrypoint philosophy is something that I have lived by for the past, since 2017. So it's been 7 years. And because a lot of people have noticed the changes in my life, they've been asking me, George, what's going on? And I tell them about Entrypoint philosophy. And I found out that it takes some time to explain. So I started a project called Entrypoint Academia. Now, I'm trying to do it in my free time. And I have no free time. So it's coming along very, very slowly. But it's come to the point where today I can tell you, or I can tell people, hey, if you're curious about life and about the way you live life, I can offer you an interesting alternative. I can offer you a way of perceiving reality that will actually make you much happier and more productive and really live a life that you could not imagine before. And when I say that, I'm talking about my experience, because what I have experienced the past several months, well, the past 85 days, it's just something that I never knew it were possible. So I always like people to be convinced. So I tell them, you know what? Over here, you can find all the insights that I found thanks for or due to perceiving reality the way I perceive it. And if any of these insights you feel either a certain vibration, like, wow, somehow it makes you feel interested, but you cannot explain it. Or if you are someone who would say, that's an interesting insight, how come I never saw it before? Because all this time it was in front of me. So if you experience any of this when you watch any of these videos, then you should go for Entrypoint Academy. And also on this side, I'm showing you all the videos and experiments and discoveries I have found thanks to Entrypoint philosophy. So if also any of these you find interesting, then you should go to the videos over there on this side. I don't know if it's left or right, but in the bottom, there's a video called Segments. You should watch it first to understand how Entrypoint philosophy is not only about human life, but exactly the way segments are structured in Entrypoint Academy. You can apply it to dogs. You can apply it to a newborn dinosaur. You can apply it to the first lizard that came out of the sea. You can actually even apply it to the first bacteria, because it's universal. So you should watch the video Segments. Then you should also watch the video, you should watch over here, the far side, the video how I apply Plato, because it's structured in a way that it has a 15-second part, 5-minute part, 10-minute part, and 20-minute part. And each part that you listen to, you can view that, let's say over here, you have all the knowledge, all the information that's out there thanks to Plato. Now, to cover all this information, oh my God, you would have to read all the 35, 45 dialogues written by Plato. Plus, you would have to read and listen to all the lectures of all the very, very smart people who put works of Plato into perspective. And it's so much information that to go through it will take you so much time. But you can watch this one video how I apply Plato, and there I try to summarize all the key ideas. So once you watch this video, you will be always ready for any conversation about Plato. Plus, you will learn two things. First one is that thoughts that Plato had 2,500 years ago are still relevant today. And the second thing is the structure that I used in how I apply Plato, then I used in the first segment video of Entrypoint Academia and the second one. And it's again structured in a short video, longer video, and the longest video. And it's again to help you to go from top to bottom and give you a basis based on which you can then every time you run into other information, you will it's like a mosaic. You will have the knowledge. So right now, Entrypoint Academia is set up that segment 1, how to perceive reality, and segment 2, how to perceive health, are ready. Now, segments 1 and 2, that's what I apply as part of Entrypoint Lifestyle. And the first segment is about living perceiving the reality in a way that actually helps you. Now, what I mean by that, imagine that 500 years ago, everyone thought that Earth was flat. Now, when you perceive reality around you, that you live on a flat surface, 99% of, maybe even 100%, 99% of everything will make sense. All the scientific equations, everything will make sense. But there will be some things which will not make sense. For example, and this was a big puzzle 500 years ago, how come that planets, I think it was Neptune or Uranus, I'm not sure now, but let's say Neptune, how come that at a certain time of the year, it starts going backwards? Now, this did not make sense. Why does it go backwards? And it did not make sense until someone smart came and said, you know what? Maybe it's not, well, I just realized it's not about Earth being flat, but it's about Earth going around Sun, but it doesn't matter. It's the same principle. If you live in a model that everything is running around Earth, then it doesn't make sense that this one planet all of a sudden goes in a different direction for a certain number of days. But it makes sense if you imagine that everything is going around the Sun, then it makes sense that there are certain situations where when the planet is going around the Sun, from our perspective, it looks like it's going backwards. So the same thing is in life. There are certain things, and we all experienced it, that they do not make sense. You're trying to do good things, and bad things come to you. You try to achieve a goal, and you are unsuccessful. You achieve a goal, and you are not happy. You are, doing everything with your health, and yet you get sick. Now, all of this makes sense when you perceive it from a frame that there's no free will. Now, we'll do more, probably interviews and more reaction videos to this, because there are a lot of smart people who have done a lot of research, like Professor Sapolsky, about there not being free will. Now, if there's no free will, and you perceive the world the way there's no free will, to me, because there is no free will, and if you act and perceive the world that there is no free will, all of a sudden you will, a lot of the things that did not make sense in the past, all of a sudden will make sense. Now, regardless if there is free will or not, I created something called Entrypoint Challenge, that for 30 days, you try to live segment 1 and segment 2. Now, segment 1 I just told you about. It's how to perceive reality, that there's no free will. To find out more, check out the video number 1 in Entrypoint Academia. There's also, again, after each segment video, there's about an hour and a half long video on how to perceive reality and how to live it in the 21st century. When I work as an IT director in a marketing company, and yet even in that professional environment, I try to perceive and act as if there's no free will, and the results are just amazing. Same with segment number 2, how to perceive health. So Entrypoint Lifestyle is about me living like a caveman. What does it mean? Well, it means that I eat, let's say, well, I do always I always water fast, and every now and then I eat. In reality, it means that every third, fourth day, I eat 1 or 2 meals. And when I eat, I usually eat eggs, meat, and green vegetables. No carbohydrates, no sugars. And I drink mostly water, black coffee, black tea, and lemonade with no sugar. So that's one thing that I do. So I think that because I stopped keeping track, but I kept track the first 2 months. And the first 2 months, which was 60 days, I ate 20 days. So basically, I don't eat. And one thing I started doing, and it's been about 30 days, I started working out. And I work out at home for 25 minutes. I turn on the news, and for 25 minutes, I do calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, things for my back, for my shoulder. And I'm surprised how it's all coming together. Now, of course, there's 9 segments. So the third segment is about how to apply a new skill. Remember, I told you in the beginning that it's common to all living beings on this planet. So each being, regardless what kind of being it is, at first it has to, come into terms with the reality. Where am I? What am I supposed to do? That's segment 1. Segment 2 is, well, what is this body, this thing I'm in? How does it work? What can it do? Okay. And then the third thing for all the organisms is that you have to learn and adapt. How to, like you have to learn a new skill, because in the beginning, the baby cannot speak, it cannot write, it cannot think, it cannot do anything. So you really have to learn. It has to learn the skills, and that's segment number 3. And I got to tell you that that's what I've been working on. So I started, really studying and researching techniques for accelerated learning. And I got to tell you that every day I practice several techniques. Now, what I'm surprised about, just like with finding cure for cancer, finding cure for diabetes, finding all these things by myself when I started perceiving the world from a point of view of Entrypoint philosophy, then I discovered so many techniques and even exercises that improve your learning speed that I'm just amazed. And I do these every day, and I'm surprised how these exercises are so general that even though I feel that they will help me to do one concrete thing, I'm discovering that they are enhancing me in other areas. Now, once I have this all together, and I think it will take me probably 2-3 more months, I will, of course, publish a third video or another video on the third segment. Now, what are some of the exercises? Now, the exercises you can find on some of the exercises you can find on my TikTok channel. I think it's the top right here. And there, I publish exercises that separate your visual perception from your audio perception, that can turn on your photographic memory, that can increase your reading speed. Now, how do I know this? Well, because I do these exercises every day. And not only do I do them every day, but I do them in different areas. So let me tell you what they are. I do exercises that improve my reading speed. Now, these exercises are for your eye muscles and for your perception to widen. Because the wider perception you have, because you know all that when you focus on one point, everything around the point is, as you travel, well, if you focus on one point, you can see that everything that's moving, that's further away from the point, it's more blurred for you. And if it's the other way, that you don't see anything, it's called tunnel vision. Now, there are exercises that increase this field of perception, and that way you can capture more words. There are exercises that improve your eye movement. All of this improves your reading speed. Now, my reading speed has improved dramatically, and not only the reading speed, but also the comprehension percentage. Now, and not only this, but what also improved was my understanding of speed reading. Speed reading is another tool to go through a text to find information from the text as fast as possible and understand the text. But it's a completely different. That doesn't mean that I have to always speed read. If I want to read, some detective story by Dick Francis and just enjoy 1 hour drinking tea and smoking a cigar and enjoy reading, I don't have to speed read that. But going through text, I find out also in my professional career that all of a sudden now when I have to read web pages, when I have to analyze emails, text, it's much easier and faster. So just as an interest, I went from I think reading speed of 300 words per minute. Now I'm averaging about 800 words per minute with comprehension around 75-80%. Many times it happened to me that I would have a reading speed of let's say 950 words per minute, and comprehension was 100%. But I see that this is actually transferring into other areas in my life. So with the widening of the perception, I can see that my reflexes are better. When I drive a car, I feel like I see much more. So that's one exercise. Another very interesting, drill that I'm doing, and there are exercises coming from it, is something called perfect pitch. Now, if you're not a musician, doesn't matter. But most of us, when we hear music, we hear it, let's call it black and white. Like you can tell if did it go up, did it go down? Then you can find out, if you say that na, na, or na, na, that the intervals are actually different. So that's how we hear. But there's also different type of hearing called perfect pitch, which can be, when you research the internet, it's described as color hearing. That basically when you hear the sound, you can feel what pitch it exactly is. Now, on the internet, it's told that this is either a gift that you have or something that you have to develop when you are a little child. But for me, it's very interesting that I think I found a way of attaining this if you do a correct exercise. So this is something that I am working on every day, or almost every day, that you do exercises where you listen to various pitches and you just have to identify what pitch it is. And it's very interesting that even though I'm 47 years old and music has been a big part of my life, as you can see with the guitar over there in the back, that I can certain pitches. It's like I can, like, when I hear, I know exactly that it's F. And when I do it, I have my headphones, and let's say I watch the news, and parallel with that, when I hear the pitch, I tune into feeling the pitch. And again, you can describe it as color, but it feels like it's like a sixth sense. But again, when I do these exercises, it transfers into my music perception, and I became a better musician. But not only that, but when I'm at meetings, I feel like I can even hear people better. That I feel like there's this layer that's been always hidden to me, which is the tonality of the information and not only the meaning of the words. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on. And also what has happened is that I've been applying these exercises to my guitar playing. And it has improved. My guitar playing has completely changed and improved so dramatically that it's almost unimaginable where I was in my guitar playing in November and where I am today. And now, when I said there are so many things that are happening that I have no idea what's going to, how it's going to end up, that reason is that as I do these exercises in my professional life, this has been also transpiring, and I had a lot of very interesting successes, which came about, let's say, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, and they're just like exploding, and the success is amazing. And same thing in my personal life. I feel that there are certain things that started moving, and I have no idea where they are going to go. And to close this all off, I already have my first guinea pig Entrypoint disciple, and he's helping me with the 30-day challenge, how to prepare it so that if anyone wants to try it, they will receive support material. So this is also something that I've been working on, and I will be also reporting about. Yeah, so thank you for your support. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me directly. All the contact information is in the description to this video.